Hey everybody, it's Pam with Silver and Sparkles, and we are back with our weekly library card challenge. This is the one where I'm just going to alter some library cards and have some fun crafting with you. So if you want to play along, please use the hashtag weekly library card. I double checked. I'm trying to do that now, and we are on week 11 of this one. So I've been making more than just one a week, but I just have so much fun looking through them each week to remember what I've done and to be inspired. I love using quotes and words, and I've tried to remember to give you guys a prompt each week that you can use or not. You don't have to, but if you want to, I will share a prompt with you, and then you can use my idea of how I'm decorating mine for the given week, or you can do your own thing, or you can just ignore everything and do your own thing. It's that fun. Yeah, it's just challenging us to build our stash of altered library cards. So if you don't have library cards, I have a freebie on Buy Me a Coffee, and you can download a few different versions and print out some library cards to decorate. And there's also some of the pockets if you want some library card pockets. So I was gifted a bunch of, and there's several different styles of these library checkout cards, and so I am having a whole lot of fun working with them. And thank you, Charlene. Very much appreciated. So this week, what I decided I wanted the prompt to be are just reminders. And whether it's a reminder to myself, whether it's a reminder like that I want my children to always know and believe, or, you know, a friend, or for encouragement or something. So I'm going with some words that mean a lot to me and my faith. And I've already written some more out for some other cards that I plan to make. But this one says, you are seen. And of course, I'm going to go, you are known, you are heard, you are beloved, you are not alone, right? So those are the ones that I'm going to use. And then I'm just going to decorate however I want to. I am using bits and pieces that I just had in my stash, a lot of it already cut out. And this is from the Pink Monarch Print May 2025 subscription kit. And I made a large project, and then I had all this left, and I organized these and they're just piling up. So we're going to use some, and that way it'll all coordinate and just be fun for me to sit here and play with. What I did for today's card, and I've got some other ideas and takes on this type of flap, is I made a flap so that there's some private journaling space here, and even on the back of the card. I think it would look great tucked into a pocket, or if you wanted to give it as a greeting card, or instead of like a traditional one. It doesn't have a closure, but I just did that as a design. But I have an idea of how I want to do one, maybe with a little bit of a closure. We'll see if I can figure that out as we go. And I'm also thinking about doing one like a little bit different orientation. So I hope you'll hang out with me while I craft and chat, and we have some fun. Again, don't forget the hashtag so we can find each other's projects if you choose to play along. All right, and I love to, on mine, and I'm not going to do it quite yet, but I love to do the date stamp of the day that I'm making them. And of course, if I end up giving this to somebody, I can always put a piece of paper over it or do something different if I don't want that date there. So I'm not too worried about it. We'll just let me have fun doing that and using my cute little date stamp there. Okay, I'm going to put these out of the way, and we'll see how many we're going to make. I'm going to try to keep the eye on the time a little bit. My eye on the time there. All right, let's do another one that's this orientation, and all I'm doing is, and I use my ruler, is I'm just getting it to the correct width. I'm pretty sure my library cards are 3 by 5. I'll tell you in just a second. And I think that's a pretty standard card. Yeah. 3 by 5. Almost 5. Not quite 5. If you want to, if you don't have library cards or printer, do an index card, or just cut a piece of cardstock and play along. It really will be okay. I'm going to actually straighten that up. It didn't tear quite the way I wanted it to. And I am going to round these corners. So this is just going to make that flip portion again at the top. Not going to attach it yet. I'm going to think about how I want to do it. All I did with the other one is I picked a piece of paper and then, you know, did some layering. This paper is not printed on both sides, which is fine. But that sure is pretty, isn't it? So one thing I was thinking of is, well, let's make one that's like this, and then I'll show you the idea I have of maybe how the closure would work. So I think I used one of these to make that one. I was seeing what other paper I have. Ooh, these pockets are kind of cool with the photos too, aren't they? Got an idea of how we might use that on a different one. Ooh, let's use one of these. I think that'll be fun. All right, I'm gonna use my trimmer, and I'm sorry I don't have all the papers prepped and stuff. Sometimes I just like to craft with you guys. And I know some of you love this and to see like how I come up with different ideas, or, you know, just how my brain's working. And then others really like the planned out projects with all the instructions. So I try to do some of both because I enjoy both, right? I do. I really enjoy both. All right. I think that'll look okay with, I'm going to turn it around, you know, with covering up a little bit of this piece. So I'm using my walnut stain, just kind of my go-to brown. And again, I'm not worried right now that there's nothing printed on the back. We can layer something on there. And I'm just going to decide about where I want it, which I think is here. I'm going to glue it to this front part of the flap, not the back, because I want it to flap open. All right, holding it steady. There we go. We're okay. We made it. Fun. It's a little crooked, which happens. I don't think it looks too bad. Let's see if we can adjust it just a touch. Oh goodness, I don't know if I can. I really pushed it down. Yeah, I want to fix it. But it's okay. I mean, the part of the paper that tore a little, we're not going to see. All right, I like that better. Okay, there we go. It doesn't look straight back here, but it kind of looked straight to me on the front the first time I pushed it down. All right, we're leaving it. Whatever it is, we're leaving it. Okay, now I am gonna do some kind of layering here like I did before. Maybe we'll just use a piece of this. And again, I found my ruler, by the way, if you guys were wondering where my, you know, I was agonizing over the fact that I could not find this ruler. And now I don't even remember where I found it. So there you go, right? All right, we need these corners rounded. I think I'm just gonna glue this in right here. It's a little bit wide. So, and this is me kind of crafting without really measuring. It's me just kind of playing with paper. All right. There we go. And I'm just gonna kind of to cover, I don't care really about the white, but I just don't want to see where I glued that on there. Give it a little bit of reinforcement. Oops, I didn't ink it. Oh well. Oh well. All right. And then this piece will end up, whichever way I decide to do it. I'm going to turn this one this way. It will end up like this. Now, I did put an eyelet and then just ended up tying a ribbon. It didn't make a closure. It was just for decoration. I'm going to decorate the front of this one differently because I love this, the image there. So we're just going to glue it down with the back flap. So I just flipped it over and adding glue here and putting it to the back of my library card. Okay? So yeah, it's not quite straight. This one I did much better. That's all right. Maybe we'll put a tab or something on this. Well, if I do a tab, it makes you think you're supposed to turn it this way instead of flip it up. I don't know. I promise I'm gonna not worry about it. Let's find something pretty to put on the front and our words, and then another little like ribbon or something up here. So I already have a lot of bits and pieces, and they're not organized, but I think we can use them. I don't know if I want that car. Today I'm crafting, but it is my husband's birthday, so we are gonna have a little family get together later today or this evening, and he's off doing stuff right now. I'm not even quite sure. He gets himself into some projects and has fun too. So that's how he wanted to spend this part of his birthday, in the early afternoon. So that's okay. And I'm making a video. All right. Let's just kind of tear this. I don't really want it to be the tag shape, and I don't really want to punch out just the circles, but I think it might look good on here. So let's just see what it looks like. I could have used my tear ruler and it might have been a little easier. I really like the birds that I did on that one. Okay. And these colors, I think they were great for summer, but again, as we're heading into fall, making me very happy. Okay, I'm gonna put this down like this. And I'm gonna put this one here. I probably should have looked at my words to decide where I wanted them to be. I'm gonna pick, how about you are heard? Put it right there with a little bit of ink. And this was written actually on a piece of that vintage lace book that I have. So it's a little fragile, but I think it's fine, of course, once it's layered down. Now, let's see about something up here, and maybe, do I want to do one of those cute tabs? There were all kinds of little tabs that came with this kit, this sheet. And maybe one of the ones that's a little bit smaller. Like maybe I'll use these two back to back. Okay. These the monthly kits where you can get them as the subscription or buy them in the Etsy shop. And the subscription, you know, is really the best deal. But when there's a good coupon, you know, or if you missed one, or if you just, you know, really don't want to do a subscription, which I completely understand, you know, you can then just like pick your favorites and things. But I could have one of these and probably craft for months, you know, unless you just got tired of that color pattern or things. But there's just so many pieces, which makes it really fun to work with. I know some people have talked about how they, you know, are subscribers and then they paused, or, you know, their subscription for a while with a plan to maybe rejoin Pink Monarch later, just because they have so many kits now and they want to be able to use them and play with them, which I totally, again, understand. It's fun to have new ones, and I love when the new ones come out, but I also appreciate the idea that you want to use what you have, and it's hard. Okay, I'm going to bring it right to the bottom of the card, and I kind of like that because I've covered up some of that pattern, even though I loved it on both ends. And then this one hopefully is going to match up well enough to put on this side. A lot of times I'll try to cut them out together, and I didn't think about it today. I just kind of cut them. Close enough. There we go. Very sweet. All right, I do, like I said, I do want to see if I have any kind of, just within arm's reach, a piece of ribbon or something that might look cute. It's a different shade of green, but you know what? It's what I have right here. So this is what we're gonna do. And I think I'm going to just do like a little piece tied onto the side here. I don't think I want to tie this one into a bow. I'm just going to do like a knot. I didn't tie it long enough if I had wanted to, but let's do one more to make the ends hopefully go horizontal. Yeah, there we go. Cute. Just give it a haircut. Very sweet. Look at that. I mean, I think these are gorgeous. And then great journaling space. You know, I could put something back here if I want to, but I did here because I wanted it offset and then I didn't want to see, you know, that piece of the card. But I'm going to leave this one because now we have lots of journaling space or to write a letter or something. Okay, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to figure this out, but my idea for doing one a little different and maybe with a closure. So let me think through that one as we go. I think I'm going to go back to and use one of these because I think it will actually work well for the idea that I have. All of that. All right, if that's 5 inches, let me think. Okay, I'm gonna go with like 4.5, and I may change my mind, but it's okay. All right, I'm gonna get a strip with this pattern. And then I'm going to get a strip with the dark green. I'm going to leave the other piece on there for right now until I know what I'm doing. Okay. Now, thinking about, all right, and I'm going to need a piece to attach it to. So let's think about that. This might be fun. It's not wide enough. Okay. All right, this is a piece of an envelope, and I've already cut that out, and I don't want to lose the hard work I did cutting that out. So let me just dig through. I know I have options. That's pretty, but again, not wide enough. Let's use a portion of this tag. That will be pretty, right? Okay. Here we go. We will make it the right size. So again, I'm just using elements from this kit, not worrying that this was meant to be a tag. I'm just enjoying the paper. And again, I'm going to tear it carefully to the correct width of the card I'm using. You know what I just remembered? I didn't stamp this one and I really want to. There we go. I have to do things when I remember or it might not happen. So there you have it. So again, stage of life, and I'm okay with it. All right. And I've been a list person, I mean, my whole life. I mean, I can even remember as a kid in middle school and high school, junior high, I loved having my little notebooks that I could write all my class assignments on and then check them off. So I've been a list person for a long time, and it definitely helps me. Now, this may end up being, if I want to do a closure. Yes, okay, so this is what I was thinking. All right, let me just think through it for a second. All right, I want to come up to about right there. maybe a little less. And on this end, I'm gonna fold it over, and I'm gonna go ahead and just glue this down. So I took a piece of paper that's almost the height of the card. I brought it down so it's not overlapping. It probably could overlap, but where it's just a little bit under my little flap here. Okay, because this is gonna open like this, and this is gonna open like this, and I'm gonna do a little closure. Right, I hope that makes sense. So these could be wider, you know, it's the paper I'm using. I'm just choosing what I want to use and decorate. So if you want to make yours wider, you go for it. Design it however, you know, you think looks good. All right, I'm not going to attach that one yet. I want to think. And then this piece, I don't know. I had a different idea, but it definitely wouldn't have worked. So we'll just save that for a different project. Okay, before I attach this one, I want to think about the closure. And I don't think I'm going to set eyelets. I think I'm going to use, if I can find the ones that I want, I'm going to use, yes, some brads. And I'm also going to punch out some little circles. Okay, this is going to make sense, I think. I hope. All right, I am going to use this because I want to make a dark green circle. And I want 2 dark green. Yeah, 2 dark green circles. And I'm going to do maybe just 1 layer of cardstock underneath just to give it a touch more thickness. But again, I think this is going to make sense in just a minute. So I'm going to glue 1 of my circles that I want to see. I just use this as a piece of scrap cardstock. Just glue it together to make it just a touch thicker. All right. Same with this one. That's just for a scrap. Hopefully all of this will make sense in just a moment. If you are enjoying the video, please don't forget, give it a thumbs up. It only takes a second. And I would love if you would drop me a comment and tell me what you think of the video or what's on your mind, whatever. I would love to hear from you. I love your comments. All right. I am going to go ahead and glue this so I can make sure I can line up everything the way I want it. So again, I want this side to be the front, flipping it over, and I'm just going to glue this back flap down, just like I did the other one. It's pretty close to even. Got off just a touch. Let me try again. Now I'm using my Line Co brand PVA glue, and it looks like this. Line Co brand. It does allow you to do what I just did, like pull it off and pretty quick, and the paper didn't tear. The other one, even though I pulled it off and it tore a little, I had really pressed down. Now I love, in fact I have a bottle here that just came in because I was out, except for what's in my little bottles. I love Art Glitter Glue, and I do use it, and sometimes it is what I'll use when I'm on camera because it dries so quick and I have to worry about it wiggling. And again, it's hard for me to only use one kind of glue, but the PVA is a little more economical as well. So anyway, just so you know, I have some different things that I use. All right. I am going to put 1 circle here and 1 circle here. And okay, I want to do a closure. You know what? I'm going to do another layer of cardstock. I decided I need them to be a little bit thicker now that I'm thinking about it. And I have no idea where that scrap went, but we can punch some right here carefully and not mess up these tags. Okay. I printed on Nina 90-pound cardstock, which is that medium weight. If you're using a heavier cardstock, you know, may not feel the need. I just want it to lift up just a little. So there we go. Okay. Now, I'm going to get out my paper piercer, and I'm going to line this one up. You can measure if you want to. I feel pretty confident that I'm okay with mine being right here. And I'm going to poke a hole right through there. I realized I need a little more ink on this one. Okay. So I have the first one pierced, and then I'll put one here as well, and then we'll back that piece to give it a little more structure. Let's go with this kind of a brass color. Brad. Okay. Would that look good? I think so. And we'll probably put some paper back here too, because I want this to be a touch thicker as well. How cute though. Oh, how cute. All right, and I want this one, I'm gonna put it about right there. And again, I'm just gonna eyeball the center till it comes through, right? And then we'll stick the Brad on. Very sweet. Yay, so cute. All right, now, and I'm waiting to layer because I want to cover up the back of the Brads. It's, you know, it's not that critical that you do that, but it makes me happy. This is what I'm looking for. We're gonna just tear another piece of paper to get the width we need. And round the corners so it will match like this. And on this one, I think what I'm gonna do is use my pencil. Just make a little mark right there. I know it's probably hard to see. And try to just, I could lay it on the trimmer. I'm just gonna tear it. And we'll see how I did. Funness. Okay. Love that. Let's add a touch of ink. And I'm just going to glue it right on top. So now I'll have another layer of cardstock, and I get to cover up the back of the Brad. Looks like it's a little too big, and that's okay. I'll trim it off with my scissors, because what I want is this to fold really well. And of course I don't want this hanging off, but that's why I have scissors, and it'll be okay. Okay, and a little bit of Distress ink, and it looks great. You can even do that and get some down in there. Ooh, I love that. Okay, now for this one, we could cover the whole panel. We could just do a strip so it kind of matches or something. And then we could leave that for writing, which is I think what I'm gonna do. This piece is almost perfect. Not quite, but almost. So I'm just gonna glue it down. And then I may even come through and round these corners. We'll see. I'm just gonna glue it down and then trim it off. I get to use a scrap. It's all good. And I'm okay if it's not like 1000% perfect, because I will add some more ink and keep going. Okay. Don't think I need this right now, and I don't want to poke myself, so I'm going to put it away. Okay. Trim it up. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but we're going to do it. Yeah, I like it. It's fine. And it made that match up just a touch better. Okay. So this is like this, and we're gonna do a little, like a piece of twine or ribbon or something. We'll pick something out in just a minute, but let's decorate this with something pretty. Maybe even here. I keep talking about my tear ruler, and it is right here. Here it is. Yay. I'm going to tear this so that it can become a decoration. I love butterflies. Whoa. Okay. That can slide right under there. Now, let me think about, because I definitely want my words, right? I want my words on here. So, let's see. Would it go? This one says you are known. You know, it will work. So let's get this inked and glued down, and then I'll decide where to place it. And then I still have You're Not Alone and You Are Beloved. We'll see if we get to all of them. I definitely want to do one with a side flap like this. Just different, like I said, just different orientation. I just think it will look cool. It'll look neat. All right, before I forget, let's get this one stamped with the date. Okay. All right. So another thing you guys could do is drop me a comment telling me what are some of reminders you think are important, right? Like if you were gonna share a reminder with someone you love or with yourself, especially maybe when you're needing encouragement, what would you tell yourself or tell someone you love? I would like to hear. I think that would be really a fun conversation to have in the chat, don't you guys? Okay. I'm just going to do a little bit of twine, just like that. And sometimes when I do these, so I remember which one I want to pull, I'll just tie a little knot on one end. The other idea is I can, you know, tie this and cut it really short, but I'm going to just leave it like that. Okay, so we can go like this. We know we have all this private journaling space, and I love it. Okay, all right, so we've made these two, and that was my prototype. Let's try to do at least one more. I know it makes the video a little bit longer, but I wanted to show you guys this idea. All right, so now I need paper. Hopefully I have some in these scraps. Oh, and I also had an idea with these. These actually might be close to the right size. Why don't I just do it with one of these? And I think that will make it maybe go a touch faster too, and it'll be fun. Now, I'm not using this as a pocket. I'm gonna again use it in some fashion as my flap. Trying to get it trimmed up, at least a little straight. Okay, what do I want? What do I want? I'm gonna cut these apart first. And then I know I don't really want that thumb notch, so I'm gonna cut it off. Yeah, that looks fine. And I don't know if I need this piece, so I'm gonna leave it until I figure out what I'm doing. Okay, we have a plan, sort of. All right. I liked having the flap the same length or width in that example of the card. Yeah, so we're gonna use a piece of this, even though it's a little plain, and then we'll decorate it up with the ones I was just playing with. So here we go. And again, just a little haircut. All right, I want it to be about that 5 inches. And I'm just gonna tear it apart and hope I get it, you know, close. And then I do not need it quite this large. All right, I have a piece of paper now. Look at me. All right, folding it in half, same concept. And I'm still gonna have everything orient vertically, but I'm just gonna have my flap like this on the side. And again, it would probably save me time if I would just measure and use my paper trimmer, but it's all okay. All right, here we go. Cute, right? All right, I'm not gonna glue anything down until I keep going with my design and can decide what I want. We'll put that here for now. Okay, and then I had this piece that I thought would actually be really fun. Why don't we just make it a torn edge? I mean, I could fold it back, but let's just do it, right like that. Okay, so I've been putting them underneath and then having this, but because of this being kind of plain, let's put it on top. Why not, right? Just see what happens. I like this faux reinforcer right here. I just think that's really cute. All right, so glue. Decide about where I want it. Pretty straight. That looks pretty good. And I am going to, I'll put one of my brads in here, or not my brads, one of my eyelets in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and punch a hole with my crocodile. And let's see, they're not in this one, they were in the other one. And I've talked about these before. These are the actual We Are Memory Keeper brand. And then this is one that I found that's working. I'll go ahead and use it to show you guys again if you missed it. A brand on Amazon. It's pretty inexpensive and lots of different colors. And they're setting really well. I love the We Are Memory Keeper ones, but I can't find them anymore. So I did find this. And I've shared it with you guys because I do believe it works. And I don't like to recommend ones. Uh-oh, I said that and well, that was user error. I did not have it lined up correctly. Oh, well. Anyway, they set well and work well. So when you do it right. And I need to order a new one of those blocks because obviously I am sometimes off. Probably should have gotten a new one out. Yeah, we'll just get a new one out. And then I'll show you when you don't make user error, how it works. Okay, so when you're using your crocodile, make sure you have it lined up correctly. The little thing needs to go in the hole, not to the side of the hole. Look how pretty it sets when you do it the right way. Okay. So it's definitely easier to do that before I had glued it to my card. Everything's fixable. I really didn't want to have to redo my little flap piece I had already made, but you know, if I had torn it, I could have repaired it or made a new one. Again, there's always an option. So we don't ever need to, you know, when we were kids, I don't know if your parents said that, don't cry over spilled milk, right? And, you know, kids need to know it's okay to get upset, I think. But it's also like things just happen. And okay, we'll clean it up and life will go on and everything will be okay. And definitely when we're crafting in paper, instead of getting completely stressed out, right? We can enjoy, hopefully, what we're doing. All right, I'm going to not use this right now. It's not quite speaking to me. So instead, I love all these bits and pieces, but I'm trying to kind of find images in a little bit larger pieces for what I'm doing. So let's see, which one would be fun? I'm always drawn, I think as you guys know, towards these birds. Let's see. We'll see how she looks on there. That's a 1 3/4 inch circle, and it's almost exactly right. All right, which way? I've been doing it like it was gonna flap this way, so we'll just go with that. And all right, I'm gonna put her right there. This is just gonna end up being an embellishment, not a closure or anything. How about I put You Are Not Alone on this one? Like the little bird singing the truth, right? Okay. I'm just gonna put it right there. Now I'm gonna have this one hang off just a touch, so we may put a circle on the other side. We'll see. I definitely want a strip of something. This is where, let's use a piece of washi tape. Just because we can. Oh goodness. Come on, washi, open up. The box didn't want to open. It's one of my favorite ones. And this is the IB washi tape that I am an affiliate for. So I'll put that. I always put it in there, but it's in the video description and a coupon for you guys if you are wanting or needing some washi tape. I'm looking at the colors and I'm thinking this one's, I wasn't thinking of a wide one, but I think the color of this one would be really pretty. See if I can get it going. And I know I mentioned, you know, that, and I have it in the description, but when you guys use those affiliate links, you know, I make a few pennies, but it's no cost to you. And it actually really does help me. And so if you don't mind, if you are going to take a look, if you'll use those links when you're shopping, I'd appreciate it. And I know you guys have lots of people that you watch and follow, and probably there's a bunch of us with those types of links. So I get it. But if you happen, like I said, to be moved, that would be great. Okay, here we go. Every little bit, right? Okay, let's see how this is looking. I love that with these papers. I think that's pretty. And I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to worry about putting anything over that right now. Very sweet. Look at that. I love it. Okay, put this back in the box so it doesn't disappear. And now I want some type of ribbon or thread or something. Pulling out my little bag of extras. I've got all my little baskets too laying here. Just thinking, is there something different that I haven't pulled out in a while? I love that purple. And this actually came out of this bag, but I don't see any more of it. I'm sure I have some somewhere. I think that was just a little piece. So I need kind of a big piece that I can do some kind of wrap. Again, that's the thing, is this is really just decoration. It doesn't have anything really to do with closing. I think the yellow will be fun, won't it? Now I need, like I said, a pretty long piece, but I also don't want it to be this wide. So let's see. I don't know if it's going to tear or if I'm going to have to try to cut it. Ha! Okay. All right, let's see what happens when we start threading this through. Lots of strings. And yes, I'm letting them fall on the floor, and I will clean them up when I'm off camera. All right. Let's come up through here. And I'm probably going to have to use my little trick where I push it through. All right, there we go. And then, the way I did the other one, I wrapped it this way. And then I came up through the hole again. All right, so you have your your ribbon like this and have two kind of long tails. One end you're going to bring up and then come back through your hole or your eyelet if you have an eyelet. Oh, where is, I don't know where my little pin cushion is with my needles and my pins in it. I'm going to use the scissor to help me. Okay. Okay, I don't want to lose it. All right, so now I've come back up. So see how that just kind of attaches it? All right. And then this piece was already through the hole, and I'm going to bring it up. And we are going to, I know I keep flipping it around, and I'm sorry, we're going to do a little tie like this, and I'm going to bring this piece under. You tie it however you want, but this is how I did that first one, and it ended up looking nice. So I'm just staying with that. Okay, so see, so now I've gotten to this point where I just have a pretty ribbon tied on using that eyelet. I can do a bow. I can just have the string, you know, the ends hanging down, whatever I want. Just cutting off some of these that I know I don't want, right? I'm gonna try a bow, and if I don't like it, I'll untie it. Maybe a little bow. And I think if I make the tails short, which will be cute, you'll be able to read the words. And then I can use these for something else. Okay. Again, just kind of play with different ideas of how to do the ribbon. I just like that as a touch. And you see the little hint of the gold back there. Okay, I have one more You Are Beloved, and I am going to make one, but I'm just going to do it off camera because I think I've been on camera for quite a while, and I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you love these. I am really having fun with them, and I might make even more. So it's a nice way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Okay, have a great day. Until next time, I appreciate you guys watching. Take care.